Yeah, and here I am in the hotel room on the final night on Sunday night on Oscar night. And yeah, went to the back to the Billigans across the street and for the Robert side of the group and Rachel, kids and everything, and a discussion about the lively discussion about mainly football and car racing with Kale. um, anyway, so yeah, all of the Oscars I watched tonight was just Best Actress was for The Favorite. That movie did not come out in San Jose. Never heard of it. So Oscars, this is the most boring Oscar night ever. I am narrating the video and Mumsy in the background. So yes, just to myself, and yes, so there's a thing coming up there on your phone. So I'm just narrating a video. So
Are you doing that movie stuff?
well, yeah, kind of.
I mean, you're talking like.
Yeah, like it's a live log. Look, Mumsy.
Who is that, John? Who is it?
No, it's me.
It's you?
It's me. See?
Oh yeah.
So yes, this is the one that interrupts all of my movie videos, even out here in the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah. But yes. Yes. So yeah. Well, you already know from my vlogging, this is gonna go up when I get home. Yeah, nothing. There was nothing on the TV, and the Oscars look boring. It's probably gonna be the most boring one ever. You know my choices. I've said them on my channel. You know it should have been. It should have been A Star Is Born Best Picture with Lady Gaga. It was not. Should have been. It should have been Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and it should have been Bohemian Rhapsody, and it should have been a science fiction fantasy. Should have been Black Panther. It's the winner. I don't know if it did. I probably not. Probably one for makeup or costumes or something. One for something. So yeah, animated feature would have been Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. So I don't know if that might have got something. I'd have to check later. It doesn't matter. My choices are more awesome than the Hollywood ones. Now, they didn't ask me to host the Oscars. See, they should have, because I would have done it. But I had to go out of town to this thing, so I was not available. So anyway, it's the Kal Kat Show signing off from Salmon Creek, Vancouver, Washington. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster. This is my review of Oscar night, the 21st, or back from the Vancouver trip mission thingy. And yeah, so I am going to just kind of read the my article that I just wrote for the Oscar thingy. I'm just kind of gonna like skim through it here. Yeah, 91st Oscars disappoints big time, except for some stars. Yeah, some stars. Rami Malek won for Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, but Lady Gaga was stiffed for the nom for Best Actress. Supporting Actor went to Malaysia Ali for Green Book, a film that was in and out of theaters before I could see it. Supporting Actor went to Manisha Ali. Oh, no, I just read that. Yeah. Yeah. I could do that again, I guess. Supporting Actor went to Marisha Ali for The Green Book, which was out of theaters before I even noticed it. Really, it was there, but I guess I just didn't have any interest in it. Supporting Actress went to Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Also a movie that never aired here in the Bay Area. Of a million people. The animated film winner was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That was good. Cinematography went to Roma, a foreign film, which did show up here, but in January 2019. But we did not go to see it. It was gone in 3 weeks. Costume design went to Black Panther. Well, at least that's something. Let's see. Usually the winner of director leads to Best Picture. Alfonso Cuarón won for Roma, so it's probably a good movie because Alfonso Cuarón is awesome. But it wasn't playing here. Roma also won for foreign film. Filming, editing, and I believe music went to Bohemian Rhapsody, but not song. Song went to Lady Gaga for the ironically titled song. What was it? What's weird is that Black Panther was not nominated for the makeup and costuming of Killmonger at all, which is weird because that was pretty awesome makeup that they put on him. It wasn't just CG, it was makeup. And yet Vice won for makeup. Vice was not a very well received movie. It got a just an average score. It was out a long time, but I don't think it made a lot of money. It was out a couple of weeks. I didn't go to see it. It's the Dick Cheney movie, and I understand that they put the guy from Batman in. It made him look like Dick Cheney, but how does that warrant giving him anything other than, yeah, gay? And I commented snarkily, the fake Dick Cheney was over that. Okay. But Black Panther did win for musical score, and A Star Is Born won for song, the ironically titled Shallow. Now, then I ranted about Green Book. I have not seen Green Book. We were gonna see it and didn't. It's either that or see Into the Spider-Verse, and I chose to see Into the Spider-Verse instead. Now, I chose to see that instead. Now, Green Book won for Best Picture, and usually when the Oscar does Best Director, its Best Picture will follow. This year they were called on that, so they were like, we're not going to do that. We're going to give it to a movie that no one saw coming. Green Book. A film that played here in San Jose area. I'm just going to read the script here that I wrote. The information comes off the Oscar website, so of the winners, that is. But this is my article. I wrote an article based on, that's where the source is. That's where the Oscar wins were mentioned on the list. Best Picture went to Green Book, a film that played here in San Jose area for at most 2 months and was not reviewed, over Black Panther and A Star Is Born, which were also nominated. And note that Panther was in theaters for 6 months or more and made $1.3 billion. $1.3 billion. Gaga movie made $200 million. And what did Best Picture make? Green Book? About $69 million. $69 million. Now, that might sound like a lot of money, but in Hollywood, that's not a lot of money. That's a month-long movie that disappears from theaters quickly. In this day, in this current movie theater thing, that's not a highly priced movie. That's a movie nobody went to see. That's a movie 69 million people went to see. Around here, where there's over 1 million people on one side and over 1 million on the other, it's 2 million of them saw it. So, that's it. All over the country, that's 69 million out of 300 million people. That ain't a lot. But if you add up the $10 a ticket, that would be, what? I'm not that good at math, but what, 20 million people saw it? At least once? It's not that much. Green Book. Don't know either way. I understand it's kind of dark and depressing, so didn't want to see it. but not because of the content, but we'll see it. And then I went on to say, okay, I wanted to figure out how much the other Oscar winners and contenders might have won. And I looked up that Roma should have won because director and pirate picture go together, as I said. But I did not see Roma. Oh, in case you're wondering, it made not applicable. So when I looked up the rating for this movie, 40 million to even get an Oscar nod. We don't know whether it won that. It probably shouldn't have been nominated even for an Oscar. They put it under foreign film too. Won that. Going to guess from what I gathered that for a few weeks that it made the qualifying 40 million. Black Klansman made 40 million. I guess I'll have to see it eventually. Just barely squeaking by into the category. I understand it was a funny, not a funny movie, but a good dark comedy kind of thing with drama and elements. It's mostly a drama, I would say. When they call it that, they're saying it's a drama with some jokes. But I wasn't in the mood for that movie. It's a drama with some jokes, yeah. Not a dark comedy. Let's see. Production went to Black Panther. Bohemian Rhapsody got sound editing and mixing. But Queen, does sound editing. Mixing. How about Best Picture? No, we don't want to do that. Let's see. Visual effects went to First Man, which did come out long enough to be podcast. And curiously, it was an October movie, so that was interesting. But it was not reviewed on this channel. And over Black Panther, I was like, what? Now, First Man only made 44 million domestically, which means it tanked here. So that's just not even almost barely qualifying. Making it a broken orbiter here. But it made 104 million as at the foreign box office. So it made up its foreign box office. But as I pointed out, if the production was indeed 56 million to make, they blew all that on advertising. So that broke even. And this movie should not have gotten an Oscar for anything. Because, break-even movie? Why would that get an Oscar? And then we come to Black Klansman winning for writing, original score, I think. And Green Book is also based on a book, I believe. So they both are. So they won for book. And then we come to... So hearkening back to the dismal mid-2000s, without a host this time, the Oscars chose to take the comfortable middle road. They were avoiding the politics as well as avoiding the defensive writer lady comments and all that stuff from last year by giving it to actors and actresses that weren't stirring the pot, basically, weren't causing a ruckus. They weren't going to give it to Black Panther because that was stirring the pot to them. Because they're, as Brie Larson was saying, white men, old white men. Old. The Oscar presenter guys are like old. I like Spielberg and them. They're like 80 at least by now. 80 at least by now. Yeah, 70s, 80s. They're Oscar producers. They're old white dudes. Almost all of them. I mean, there's a few black guys, but they're really just there because they're old school actors, not because they're just as good. Because they're just old school actors. I'm sure Morgan Freeman's in there somewhere, so he would be black. But but he probably doesn't do much. Let's see in the Oscars. So we were saying that harkening back to 2002 without a host even, Oscars chose to take the comfortable road, grabbing minor blockbusters to appeal to the oldsters, and went to one or two films that actually came out in October or earlier to throw off the old later than fall rule just a little. Now, the later than fall rule goes back at least 60 years of Oscars to basically they have no attention span. Like young children, old men have no attention span. So if your movie doesn't like make a lot of money and have a blockbuster, like say in about between late October, early December to early December, and all the way up to January 1st, actually, it may not get an Oscar at all because they just didn't remember it. Now, in the case of Black Panther, it was out for 6 months and it made so much money they had to notice it. If they didn't, they probably would have had riots. They didn't notice that movie. But yeah, the fact that they chose Green Book just to say, okay, Green Book, it's probably someone told them to, as opposed to them actually seeing the movie. Yeah, I'm thinking somebody told them. Just choose this movie. It was nice. And I said earlier on some of my comments at the Claro Awards that there really isn't much for them to vote for this year, and there wasn't. So I did predict that. However, I did not predict any of the outcomes here. Except Rami Malek won. That 1 out of 80% isn't good. 1 or 2 winners. So yeah, some of it was a 20% guess. Black Panther did win some stuff. Into the Spider-Verse did win. Rami Malek did win. They only give some of it to Black Panther because I just kind of said that. But it made over $1 billion. They didn't want to, obviously. Although it is amazing that Lady Gaga was nominated for anything, giving it to a person in a film nobody has heard of, is typical of their early years, back in the 1990s. They even had a spat of that in the mid-2000s with movies people had never heard of. I made that joke at every Black Friday. I show that joke every Black Friday because it's still a joke. It's not, a joke is a story that's a witticism, boomerang, or it's not just an observation. It's a boomerang. It has to be funny. The joke is that all of the Oscar first-run movies, all of them, will end up on the bargain bin at Black Friday. Not because they printed out a bunch more of them for everyone to watch, but because nobody really wanted to see them. So they've printed a lot of them, so it's the other way around. It's like nobody really wanted to see the Oscar movie. They just print out, like, here it is on the $5 bin at Walmart, because, yeah. So they did not ask the Oscars did not ask me to appear as host on the show, and that's probably why they couldn't get one. I was busy at the Vancouver thing, so I could not go to host the Oscars. They'll have to ask me next year. I wouldn't have had much to say, though, really, honestly. Green Book, meh, pass. Green Book is going to be on the $5 bin. It's not even a prediction. It's just going to be. The Black Klansman might be too. So, isn't that like a Dave Chappelle joke from 2003? Black Klansman. Isn't that, yeah. Dave Chappelle joke about that 15 years ago? I think he did. And in that sketch, he was a blind Black Klansman. So he didn't know he was black. That was the joke. Yeah. And then when he figured out he was like, damn it. Yeah, so, and he said some other choice N-words, but yeah, I'm not going to say those. Yeah, and apparently Brie Larson is upsetting people. So he's just going to play Captain Marvel. Yeah, I don't really care if she complains about white guys, because some of them white guys are obnoxious. Yeah. So that's my take on the thing. Oscar-y thing. Now I'm going to do something else.